Hi, welcome to live stream Yoga with Louise. Tips and cues to keep you safe and strong on the mat. Hush is our key word for today's practice. Stilling the body, stilling the mind. As always, play when you're comfortable, modify when you need to, rest when you need to. You ready? Let's hit the mat. We're going to begin and end today's practice in corpse pose, Shavasana, equal parts the easiest and the most difficult part of most yoga practice. Because while it tends to be easy to still the physical body, oftentimes it's stilling the mind that's the bigger challenge. Find your way onto the back. Begin to settle the weight of your body into the mat. Legs softly splayed out, arms comfortably splayed out, palms up. Start to close your eyes, take your focus inward, and start to still all that busy chatter, that monkey mind within. Start to look for quiet. Maybe gentling your breath as you gentle the body and then allow the gentling of the mind to follow. Begin to look for that connection with your breath. Taking soft inhales in and gentle exhales. Maybe looking for lateral expansion through the ribs as you inhale. Then beginning to look not only for lateral expansion through the ribs, but also a rise of your sternum towards the ceiling at the same time. Think of it as a 3D breath. Then maybe adding a fourth dimension to that inhale, breathing out, up and down towards the mat at the same time so that your back line feels like it's pressing into the mat on each inhale. Breathing all the way to the very bottom of your lungs. Looking for opportunities during today's practice to create pockets of quiet hush. Gently begin to flutter open your eyes. Look for a gentle wriggle into your fingers, into your toes. Maybe starting to find a little Pavamuktasana breath pattern. Exhaling as you hug the knees in towards your chest. Inhaling to allow the knees to fall away from the body line. And starting to get a little north-south rock through the lower back. As you hug the knees, the tailbone peels off the mat. As you exhale, the tailbone gently drops back. Maybe ending in an active hug, adding a small chest lift, thinking nose to knee, coming into a tight little tuck. And then on a lazy inhale, take a beautiful long supine stretch, allowing for neutral spine and a long reach through your fingertips and toes. Start to play with that knee tuck again, Pavanmuktasana. Maybe looking for an audible breath pattern on the exhale. Maybe ending in the tuck, adding nose to knee. And then as you come back down, starting to look for a circular trace through the knees, massaging into the lower back. Do a few in one direction and a few in the opposite. Then come back to that tuck and begin to work east-west, rocking through the mid-back. Use that gentle rock to roll onto one side and find a long stretch on the side of the body. You can keep your top hand connected to the mat if your balance is off, or reach both hands overhead, reaching as long as you can through the fingers and the toes. Then onto the back again for that north-south Pavanmuktasana rock. Into a little tuck. Peel back down and start to circle through the knees. A few lazy traces in one direction. A few in the other. And then morphing into more of a cradle rock. Finding your way onto the side of the body and taking a long stretch, fingertip to toe. Onto your back. Big breath in for a gentle bridge. Thinking of just articulating up with care. Thinking chin to chest. Firing through your glutes, hamstrings and quads. And holding that stretch for a few hushed moments. Articulating back down with care and finding your way into a little tuck, nose to knee. Then rolling all the way over onto your right side, coming into a little fetal tuck, hugging your knees in towards your chest and giving yourself some TLC. Tucking the bottom arm in a position that feels good for you. Onto the back again to lead your way into a bridge. And you can keep those arms heavy on the floor, or you can find a bind behind your back if that feels good for you. Lead your way down, back into your little tuck, thinking nose to knee. Then into your little fetal tuck. Hushing yourself, taking your focus inward. Onto the back for a bridge. One last time. From your bridge, beginning to transition into a few gentle spinal rolls, trying to keep in a small little tuck today, holding behind the thighs or onto the shins. Using that spinal rock, we're going to find our way to a modified thunderbolt, and we're going to use a block, a pillow, or a bolster today, feeding our prop through. And you can assume, let's do a wide knee line today, so you can think feet almost tucking closer together along the midline, and the knees a little bit wider. Settle the weight of your body into your prop and find prayer mudra. Think about the symbolism of this hand gesture, a centering one that symbolizes bringing together the male and the female energy in your body. Close your eyes, take your focus inward as you start to center yourself. And then just start to find a soft Ujjayi breath pattern, inhaling and exhaling through the nose, looking for a soft, audible sound on the exhale as you play with the hands. On an inhale, float your prayer hands overhead, making a long steeple stretch through the trunk. And then on a gentle Ujjayi exhale, bring your palms down in prayer to end in front of your heart. And give yourself a few repetitive rounds of this breath and movement. Maybe ending with your hands in front of your heart. Gently flutter open your eyes, and on an exhale, take a small rotation off center to one side. Inhale, bleed back. Big breath in to float your hands overhead. Pause here, looking for that stretch from the hip bones all the way to the tips of your fingers. Take a deep inhale in again. On an exhale, come down the center line. Inhale again. And on an exhale, take your rotation off center to side 2. Inhale to bleed back and find your way into a modified camel. Maybe just cupping your bum, bumping your hips forward, or you can use the hands in the lower back, fingertips down or fingertips up, whichever feels good for you. Open up generously through your throat center, your heart center. Maybe get the blood into the hip flexors. Then as you take a seat again, we're going to flip the legs and you're going to bring them into a diamond frame. If you'd like to change the orientation of your block so that you've got more space to play for, more space for your booty, do so now. Take a seat, find that diamond frame, holding a comfortable neutral spine, but just looking for that length. Bring your hands into Jupiter Mudra, fingers interlaced, index fingers together, crossing at the thumbs, starting in front of your heart, and looking for that focused concentration that Jupiter Mudra allows for. You're going to find a long steeple-like stretch through the trunk. You're going to keep that active stretch through the line of your trunk as you start to trace a circle on the ceiling, moving for at least 10 rounds in one direction. Inhaling for half, exhaling for half. Coming to stillness. Big inhale in, on an exhale, bring Jupiter Mudra down in front of your heart. Inhale to reach and grow. And then start to trace your circle in the opposite direction for 10. Looking for those tight spots in the ribs as you breathe. Ending with a tall reach and exhaling to come down in front of the heart. Stepping one leg up, placing it on the mat. You're going to lean off center away from your stepped out leg and you're going to do a press away from that knee. Working into those tight spots in the shoulders. Inhale to come back. Find your diamond frame. And then on an exhale, find your step out on the second side. One hand presses the inside of the knee, other hand drops to the floor, leaning off the center line, pressing away and looking for that opening through the shoulders. Back to center, find your diamond frame. Maybe you're bringing the legs in closer, looking for more of a butterfly line. Maybe gently allowing the hands to cup around the knees. And adding gentle pressure, but not forcing the knees down. If you prefer to have your fingertips on the mat and make the knees heavy, you could do that too. And then looking for an opportunity here to create an assisted malasana, stepping the feet out. You can keep your block flat on the floor or you could flip it onto its side. We're going to wrap one hand around one ankle and we're going to press the other knee away. Inhale for center and then exhale to do the same on the second side. Find your way back to center. Hands to prayer mudra. Create a little hush moment on the mat. Pause. Center yourself. We're going to ease our way from our current seat into a down dog frame. So when you're ready, change your orientation on the mat, maybe just slipping your block up, placing it one side, and then stepping your way back into a basic dog frame. Maybe just give yourself a few playful moments in Svananda, just bringing blood into the knees and the hips. Then maybe bend both knees together. Pause here in a relaxed dog, thinking belly to thighs. And then exhale to stretch. Find your way back into your relaxed dog. And then extend both legs and hold. Trying to get those heels to connect to the mat. Soften your right leg, kick up into a three-legged dog, taking a long stretch through those right toes. Then think knee to hip, setting yourself up a pigeon line. Relax the lead and the back leg to the floor. We're coming into a high pigeon and you can support the pigeon, if you like, with the block underneath your bottom on the right, if you like. Settle into a high pigeon, both hands on the floor, Or maybe you'd like to come to a controlled bind. Maybe walking your right hand over, placing it where the left hand is, bending the left knee, reaching back for that foot. Think dancer. Kick the foot away from your bottom into your hand. And maybe just give me an open, reaching hand on the lead, or you can come to maybe a mudra of your choice, and it could be a mudra to any one of your fingers. I'm going to find Shuni Mudra, middle finger to thumb, thinking patience, quiet patience with body and breath. Looking for a pocket of hushed control on the mat. Ease your way from here to a plank line when you're ready. Stretch into the line of the arms, the line of the spine, the line of the legs. Then thinking knee up on the right, reaching across the midline to find a fallen triangle, making the right hip nice and heavy to the floor and holding that awesome stretch. Retrace your path back to plank. Drop to the knees and start to play in cat-cow when you're ready, alternating between a hollow and a rounded back, preferably playing at a 1-to-2 ratio in favor of the cat. Maybe even closing your eyes and maybe making that dynamic movement a little bit of a quiet meditation. An opportunity for inward reflection. Coming to stillness in tabletop, Brahmanasana, and taking a long stretch through the line of the neck and the spine and pulling your belly button gently in to center. Take a big breath in and reach your right arm for the sky. Pause here in the stretch. Take another breath in, and then on an exhale, thread the needle, tucking your hand to the floor underneath the left arm, coming to rest on the side of your head. And then let's sweep the left arm behind us, reaching for the opposite hip, and hold the stretch, looking for that opening through the left shoulder, keeping your belly button pulled into center, keeping the weight of your hips stacked over your knees. Breathe into the open side of your ribs. Lead your way back to forward kneeling. Maybe pressing back into child pose. Arms could be long and extended, or they could be stacked or relaxed alongside your body. Inhale and exhale gently through your nose. Taking that breath into the back and the sides of your ribs. Back to a basic 4-point kneel. For a little down dog play, taking the movement into your knees and your hips. Stilling your dog, looking for that delicious stretch. Then bending both knees and holding a relaxed dog. Heels off the floor, belly sandwiched against the tops of your thighs. Back to a down dog, stretch those legs. Then relax your dog one last time. Back to a full down dog stretch, hold it. Try to ground through those heels. Then soften your left knee and kick up into a three-legged dog, looking for a soft reaching toe line on the left. Think knee up plank and set up the high pigeon line on the mat. Using a block underneath your left bottom if you need it. Maybe creeping your left hand over. Reaching for that right foot. Kick the foot into your hand. Look for balance and control. Maybe you can bring the right hand off the floor. Reach it for the wall in front. Maybe find a mudra that speaks to you. Create a hushed moment of control on the mat. Ease your way from here into a plank line. Then think knee up on the left, slide the leg across the midline, knife edging the foot as it threads through, and then let that left hip nice and heavy to the floor. Back to your plank. Ease into 4-point kneeling, and then start to move dynamically in cat-cow, playing at a 1 to 2 inhalation to exhalation ratio, favoring the cat. Ending in a neutral tabletop stretch. We're going to thread left, take a big breath in, float the left arm up, pause here, stretching through the left side of the chest. And then on an exhale, find your thread, coming to rest on the side of your head, sweeping the right arm behind you to reach for the outside of the opposite hip, and pause in your little bound thread. Vada Sukhi Randasa. Unravel yourself, find your way back into 4-point kneeling, and then press back into the expression of child pose that speaks to you. We're going to find our way into a prone position, so onto the belly from here, maybe extending the arms on the mat in front in caterpillar style, pressing or clawing into our fingertips as we allow the elbows to track wide and dragging our body onto the belly. Arms alongside the chest, elbows tucked in, legs relaxed and parallel, forehead on the floor. Find a little marble underneath your nose and peel up into a small cobra. The cobra feels good. Maybe breathe up halfway or all the way so that just the tops of your thighs are connected to the mat and you're looking for a long stretch into the neck and the spine. Then bleed back down and roll onto your right cheek, keeping the elbows hugging in towards the ribs. Pausing for a little release into the neck. Then think forward to floor. Start to peel back up into a cobra, keeping it small. Maybe you want to do a halfway lift. Maybe you want to come all the way up. Lean back down. Roll onto the left cheek this time, keeping those elbows hugging in towards the ribcage. Forehead to floor, slide your hands back a little bit further so that they're towards the bottom end of the rib. We're going to articulate up into a swan. Start to roll that marble away with your nose. Pause with 3 ribs heavy. Then 1. Then your belly button, your hip bones, your pubic bone, the tops of your thighs, your kneecaps as you come into full extension, looking for that long stretch through the line of your arms and the line of your spine and neck. Bleed back down, stopping at each little station, thighs, pubic bone, hip bones, belly button, 1 rib, 3 ribs. As the rest of the rib cage follows, give me a small double leg lift. Then release the legs and peel back up into your swan. 1 more time, pausing along your journey and thinking about each little station that you're moving through before you find the full expression. Bleed back down with care when you're ready. Giving me a double leg lift once your forehead connects to the mat. Then relax the legs to the floor. Come onto your right cheek, interlace the hands and stack your interlaced hands on your lower back so they're almost forming a girdle around your back. Make the elbow points nice and heavy to the floor and just pause in the passive stretch. We're going to come into a modified hybrid between a locust and a stick pose. So from here, you're going to think forward to floor. You're going to find that little marble, peeling up into a small chest lift and a double leg lift. And then inverting your hands in the opposite direction so that your palms are almost cupping your bum as you hold a gentle boat-like frame through the body. Relax the leg lift, relax the chest lift. Bring your interlaced hands to the lower back and come to rest on your left cheek. Palms are looking up to the ceiling. Make your elbow points heavy to the floor. Just pause for a hush in that passive stretch. When you're ready, think forward to floor. Lead up into a small chest lift. Add a double leg lift. As you allow your interlaced hands to reach for the wall behind you, palms looking into center, almost cupping imaginary around those bum cheeks. Lead your way back down to the mat. Lie on your left cheek. And then gently opening up your hands into T-frame, palm down. We're still lying on the left cheek. We're going to come into a little shoulder opening pose. Taking the left hand, placing it alongside you on the mat, alongside your right left bosom. You're going to press into your left palm. You're going to knife edge your feet. You're going to roll the weight into your right shoulder, coming into a small chest lift. Stay here, knife edging your feet. I'll take your right leg, tap and step it to the floor behind you. You can do a big toe or a flat foot on the floor behind you and hold the stretch. Then onto the belly again, relaxing in your T-frame. Then resting onto your right cheek, pausing there. So your left cheek, my bad. I'm directionally challenged today. Bend your right elbow, place your right palm alongside your chest. Start to roll onto your left shoulder, beginning to peel up into the small chest lift. And then maybe stepping your right leg behind the left. Lead your way onto the belly. Maybe swinging the arms alongside the body and then rolling over onto your back to find your way back into Shavasana. Ending where we began, back in corpse pose and finding our hush moment. Stilling the body, stilling the mind. As you begin to still the mind, translate that quiet mind into the softness that begins to bleed from your crown, through the line of your face, your neck, your collar line, the shoulder blades, the arms, the hands to the tip of each finger. From your shoulder line, soften the back of your ribs, the line of your spine, your sacrum, your bum. Soften from your collar line through the front of your ribs, the chest, the side of your ribs, your belly, your whole pelvis. And soften the backs of your thighs, that tight spot behind the knees, the calves. Soften the front of your thighs, your kneecaps, your shin line, through the ankles, through the feet, to the tips of each toe. As you soften the body and the breath and the mind, think back to the symbolism of Shavasana. At once the easiest and maybe the most challenging pose. Stilling the body, stilling the mind. Hush, hush. Still your body, still your mind. Create a pocket of peace to bliss out for, staying here as long as you need to. Peace within, peace without.